game since the red card. A lot of City on the ball. How can they find a way through?
Yeah, I think they said in the studio, right? Continue to be patient. That's what City does. They wear you down. They did have opportunities, frustrated a little bit by the great play of Milinkovic-Savic in goal for Napoli. But they did create good enough opportunities. Of course, there's not going to be, like we saw in the red card, space in behind the defense, because we see Napoli sitting, as soon as this press is broken, sitting really deep. So you're going to have someone to thread a needle, break a pass across in the box that an Erling Haaland gets on the end of. There were opportunities there. For Napoli, got to continue to be resilient, continue to battle, continue to work defensively. This is what the game is going to look like for the next 45 minutes.
Rodri. And Gvardiol. Manchester City unchanged here out of the halftime dressing room. Doku showing and crossing, actually away from Bukema. Bologna defender has looked up to the challenge. Won in the summer for 36 million. Kusanov playing with Rodri. He's on the periphery as Gvardiol steps farther and farther forward. Doku driving towards that byline, cross off Spinazzola, or rather Politano, and lifted away from Spinazzola. Diaz heading back in, and now Bernardo Silva will play.
You're seeing Reinders play in line with Erling Haaland, even here a bit higher up the field. O'Reilly.
Gvardiol lifting it towards Foden. Away only as far as Lobotka, who does well to lift to safety.
O'Reilly, the left back, playing in line here with the ball.
And here is Nico O'Reilly with the block from Bukema. O'Reilly drifting further and further back, played as a midfielder in the academy, now as a left back, but comfortable in these areas. Reinders getting the low cross in, and Bukema involved 3 or 4 times in these first few minutes.
I'm not quite sure if Reinders is crossing this one or shooting on goal. The way he swiped at it looked like he was trying to take a shot, gets it wrong, and Bukema makes the block. It's been Politano who's been dealing with Doku and getting cover from Spinazzola, who's moved over to the right-hand side. As we mentioned in the first half, after the Di Lorenzo red card. Only 2 of your targets there.
Foden delivering in that corner. Well dealt with by Napoli defensively. Cleared out to Bernardo Silva. Doku. This time playing down the right side with O'Reilly as well. Out there. Into Bernardo Silva. Wide for Foden. Tijani Reinders. Patience, the name of the game for Manchester City, but given away there fully temporarily by Rodri. The wide men switching flanks.
Yeah, this is after the corner kick. Doku stuck out on the right here. Foden on the left. Still in that phase after winning the second ball, the second phase of that corner.
Rodri. So many passes from this City team, as you come to expect from the Guardiola coach side. We started this discussion about the identity of the future for City on the basis of their signings. Do they change things up, or do they lean even further into the Guardiola way? Doku into Phil Foden. Foden dragged his effort wide. It was well controlled in the heart of that area. Just couldn't steer it right side of that post.
Let's talk about the future and where this team is going. Phil Foden's going to be part of it no matter what. He gets this one wrong in the end, can't put it on frame. Great ball played in. Lobotka just a little bit late here. Bukema late coming over. Goes through his legs. Guardiola, it's a bit of a head scratcher right now. They haven't been able to beat Milinkovic-Savic so far, but you kind of get the sense that it's coming.
Højlund, rare chance to get forward, immediately swamped. Throw into City. And Antonio Conte not pleased that he doesn't get the friendly whistle.
I think one one of the asks here for Hoyland up top is hold it up, try and draw a foul. He thought he did there. And get your big bodies forward. We saw they can be dangerous on restarts. That's why you see the frustration from Antonio Conte.
Akhil attempted there from Foden, but enough for Lobotka to win back. Anguissa. Throw-in for Napoli. Chance for Oliveira to get forward, and the supporters in that away end getting excited about a rare chance to get forward, a rare chance that they've seen at their end of the ground. Into McTominay, who nods it back for Oliveira. Controlled by Anguissa, and a great cutback through that area, but no one arriving. Doku carries away. And now getting the beat in there, Politano, who takes his yellow card.
A smart yellow card here from Politano, just breaking up the play. Recognized there were players forward on that cross after the throw-in, and a lot of space for Doku to run into if he gets by Politano here. Some effort so far by Politano tonight.
Rodri. After a rare bit of defending, City go again. Started last year's league phase well with 7 points from 9, but struggled down the stretch, only just qualifying for the knockout round in 22nd. Led to playing Real Madrid in the next round, duly eliminated 6-3 on aggregate. Guardiola. Crowd appreciating his handling of the ball there. Foden. Reinders dancing beyond one. And around the corner in towards Foden from O'Reilly, but given away. Doku driving that byline, his cross lifted in. Bernardo Silva will have to play it out the other side. Ever bent out of play. Comes for Josko Gvardiol, who tried to send it central in towards Reinders, but just didn't come off for the Croatian.
Doku clearly active down the left-hand side. Phil Foden's grown into this second half here. Of course, got a lot of space here, being this deep, and he's the guy roaming at the top of the box. Riley's positioning is the interesting one. He's just allowing Doku to stay wide and get 1v1 as many times as he can.
Politano lifting and away from Gvardiol. Looks like Juan Jesus will be the next to enter for Antonio Conte. Another defender. And it is Politano who exits after the incredible shift
it really
he
was.
put in.
It really was. Antonio Conte will love the shift that his second captain on the night will put in, and now Juan Jesus will act as captain now.
3 captains inside 55 minutes is perhaps not what Antonio Conte had in mind.
See how the lineup here is. Jesus will obviously drop in as a center back next to Buongiorno. It's Spinazzola on the right. Vet on the left.
Hoyland had the chance there to play that bounce. Donnarumma finding the pass out. Come under the microscope in those moments as Kusanov was waiting for it to come to him, as Oliveira was more aggressive in getting to the ball. It's come off in last and out for the throw. O'Reilly, ball found from the throw-in. Reinders. Played by Rodri into Foden on the turn. Chipped in towards Haaland, who heads and scores! Champions League goal number
Chris. We talked about Phil Foden finding pockets of space in front of this back five. Here he is, a ball played in from Rodri. It's too easy as he flicks it over the top to Erling Haaland, running onto it and makes easy work of it. He hasn't had many opportunities, Haaland, today, but it doesn't take much. When you've got 50 Champions League goals quicker than anybody has ever done it, you know how to find the back of the net. How about the ball threading the needle from Phil Foden? Milinkovic-Savic, as good as he's been tonight, no opportunity to make a play here. Erling Haaland puts City ahead.
And the history maker, Erling Haaland, 50 Champions League goals in 49 Champions League games. From the moment he set foot in the competition with RB Salzburg, he has done nothing but score goals. Ruud van Nistelrooy was the record holder, got to 50 in 62 games. Haaland beating it by 13.
Yeah, incredible. And in a moment when Antonio Conte puts in a third center back, they haven't been stretched out in the middle of the field at all, Napoli. And that was about as open as they were. Phil Foden found that pocket of space, and he's been the guy roaming for the last couple of minutes. How about the ball he plays in? A little dink over the top.
Bernardo Silva. Lobotka. Ball recovered there by City. And now a mountain to climb for this Napoli team. Down a man and now down a goal, and City, the wind in their sails. Foden in towards Haaland, trying to get it second time, comes back for Erling Haaland. Doku. Top of the history, Haaland makes tonight. He's really finding his form. That 6th goal of the season already in 5 games. Spinazzola able to emerge. Napoli would love any chance to get forward, but Gvardiol won't let them. Haaland popping into this space, but well beyond Reinders. And Diaz is the last man, settling with Donnarumma. Nico Gonzalez will be the first to enter the game for Manchester City as a sub. Doku. Reinders playing with Rodri. Not too many first-team players available on the bench for Pep Guardiola. Likes to have a thinner team. We saw quite a few players go at the end of the window, and now injuries to Kovacic, Cherki, Marmoush, and Ignouri. Limiting the options, but Nico Gonzalez will come in for Rodri. He makes his return tonight to the Champions League, having last played on match day 1 of last year's Champions League. His 60-minute shift is over.
Yeah, very good hour, obviously. Rodri, the game became easier in the 21st minute, but it always seems to be easy for him. Nico Gonzalez, the guy that was brought in essentially to help out in that same position. We'll see a lot of the ball right now, just like Rodri did the last 40 minutes or so.
Here is Gonzalez just on the pitch. Foden. And Gvardiol chipping in towards Doku, who measures the cross in, and that cutback was well read by Lobotka. The struggle remains for Napoli to ever emerge. Anguissa has gone down away from the ball.
Immediately winning the ball back here. It's been a struggle to string passes together for obvious reasons for Napoli.
Pep Guardiola talking with his team. Ever content in the dugout. Last year was also a matchday one home match against an Italian side, a 0-0 draw with Inter, who then were also the reigning champions of Italy. Gavardio. Foden for Kusanov. He's comfortable holding his position, operating well within the game. Looking more comfortable. The City shirt was a real step forward, arriving from Lens in French football.
Obviously not a great start to his Man City career, making a couple mistakes.
O'Reilly squeezing it for Doku, and Laporta scrambling it away for a corner, just about tracking that run.
And then Pep Guardiola addressing Donnarumma and how he wants him to play different. He said, I can't have him play like another goalkeeper, like Ederson. He said, just like I can't ask everybody to be as fast as Kusanov is in our team. And I didn't recognize the fact that they think he's the fastest player in the group, because we hadn't seen that.
Right. But he is speed merchant on that right side. Foden in, and a header was won there by Ruben Diaz, or rather by Nico Gonzalez. Well off target. Times enthusiastic about his instructions, and other times realizing, well, they're not listening. We'll be away at Monaco in match day 2 for Manchester City. Napoli will host Sporting without Giovanni Di Lorenzo. Not the big moment in the game, but Napoli find a way into it somehow, some way. Scott McTominay, reigning MVP of Serie A, not really making his impact felt, but difficult to do so as Spinazzola hits a cross in, but a speculative effort that Donnarumma rather easily deals with.
And imagine all the instruction Antonio Conte gave his side coming into this was don't get stretched north and south, right? And then you think about the ball that beats Di Lorenzo, took a bad angle, which allowed Erling Haaland to get in behind him. That would have been the one ball I would have thought that, hey, we don't want to get stretched to allow Haaland like we saw against Manchester United. Ball turns over, immediate ball played in behind, he goes and finishes. And that's how they got undone in this game early.
Napoli sending some numbers forward. Well, playing out of it here, City. Doku. Foden will just let it run, and Bernardo Silva will pick up. Gonzalez. O'Reilly. Nice turn the other way from Doku. Still Doku goes. Jeremy Doku! All about the individual skill of Jeremy Doku, who's starting to find his way at Manchester City. 2-0 they lead in the opening night of the Champions League.
Oh, we talked about the freedom that he has to roam the field, and of course the game got easier going down to 10 men. Napoli did, and Doku has found his feet here under Pep Guardiola. He's been unleashed. Look at him in the middle of the field, not where he generally operates. He and Reinders, and when he gets in these tight spaces here, look at the number of Napoli players as he splits the wickets here on Milinkovic-Savic, who's been outstanding tonight, but Bukama and company cannot deal with Doku in the box, and he buries this one to put the home side up by 2.
Sam Bukama did not know what hit him. A turn of pace that he could not keep up with, and a message right down the barrel of the camera from Jeremy Doku. Could this be his breakout year? Did not play very much in last year's Champions League, only started the 3 games of the 10 that City played in the competition. The question was always end product. 8 goals, 9 assists in the 41 games he played in all competitions. So much depth in those wide areas. You have to deliver. Doku, the brilliant goal there, and gets the ball once more. He's in the game. There's this gravitational pull for the ball to go towards him and create. As Foden tries to find the window, Kusanov, not certain what that was. Spinazzola lifting away.
And you got to think at what point here, with a massive match on the weekend for Pep Guardiola's side, what he does substitution-wise. I would think the Rodri substitution had an eye on Arsenal on the weekend, as he's getting back to full fitness.
Don't want to say a game on match day 5 has title implications, but for a club that's already 6 points off Liverpool at the top of the league, playing presumably the other big rival for the league title, it's a massive game, especially to go Thursday, Sunday.
Keep in mind, Arsenal with 2 days more rest as well, having played on Tuesday in Champions League.
O'Reilly skipping beyond Højlund and playing combination a couple times, getting it back from Foden. Got stuck in his feet. It's a high demand, but the expectation at this club is you can control in those sorts of moments. As Savinho is the next to come on, it will be Jeremy Doku. Will get a nice big ovation from this crowd, having made his impact on the game with the second goal.
Yeah, this was his moment here. Just dribbling and weaving through the entire Napoli defense at the top of the box. They had the numbers, they just didn't have the ability to stop that man. It's a good night, and hopefully for Manchester City fans, a sign of things to come. It's been a great start so far to the season for Doku.
Lobotka, ever the orchestrator in midfield, but difficult to do so in a game like this. Bukuma. Curiosity will be from here how Napoli handle this Champions League. It's a poor giveaway there from Buongiorno. Savinho plays down this left side. Goes again. Will find that ball into the middle. Does find it this time with Foden. Savinho getting it back. Bernardo Silva. And the effort deflecting away for a corner.
You mentioned their schedule in Champions League for Napoli, and arguably this is the toughest game, right, of the entire group. And make a case for an important Chelsea match, but that will be in Napoli on match day 8. But they will have some work to do. It's a group that, Chris, they should be able to navigate their way through.
Sporting PSV Eintracht Karabag to come next for Naples. Foden lifting back in, and an easy claim there from Milinkovic-Savic, who was the star of the first half, but City have found a way through. His incredible goalkeeping abilities in the second. Looked like it was going to be one of those nights where Napoli were just going to be impenetrable. So difficult to break down. Another substitution is coming, a triple change here. Another player with Premier League roots. And Billy Gilmour will come into the game along with Elif Elmas and David Neres, all coming in. So the last throws of the dice from Antonio Conte. Napoli themselves go again at the weekend, albeit with an easier opponent. They'll play newly promoted Pisa. It's Anguissa, Lobotka, and Højlund. So some key figures pulled off here with 20 minutes left to play. Billy Gilmour came through at Chelsea. Also played in the Premier League for Brighton and Hove Albion before moving over to Serie A. Path becoming increasingly well-trodden from Scotland to Italy. A few players plying their trade, including Gilmore and McTominay of Serie A clubs. Here's Gilmore. City positioned high, but not quite attacking the ball as yet. Milinkovic-Savic. Jesus. Flying forward there was Kusanov. McTominay. Oliveira. Nico Gonzalez. The City recover possession, playing out wide for Bernardo Silva. Active for Reinders. Poorly given away into the path of Neres. Former Ajax man, part of that Champions League team that made a deep run under Erik ten Hag. Now in a good position here to get forward here is Elmas, playing wide for Spinazzola. Really can get one. This could get interesting. Or at least the fans who travel to want to see their side score a goal, create chances. It's not been what they've hoped for, as at this end of the ground where Di Lorenzo got sent off in the first half. The impact moment of the game. It's an obvious goal-scoring opportunity.
They weren't short on effort, right, from their side tonight. There's no doubt. But if you're going to play for Antonio Conte, that's a bare minimum. It was always going to be a tough task here. If they can pull one back, you never know.
McTominay. This is better from Napoli. Spinazzola. Measuring that cross and hitting it into O'Reilly. The trajectory of this man, Leonardo Spinazzola, his career changing at Euro 2020. Largely played in the UK. A brilliant tournament for the eventual champions, Italy. But injured his Achilles in the tournament. Hasn't really been the same since.
Neres, who's playing up top now, came in for Højlund. He's another guy I think Antonio Conte's got to unlock at some point, right? They brought him in and to be a compliment, if you will, to Kvaratskhelia when he was at the club. That type of player, certainly not at the same level, but that type of guy. Someone like a Doku who can take players on, and they really haven't been able to get that out of him so far. He's shown flashes, but I think the consistency hasn't been there. To have the full trust of Antonio Conte.
Gonzalez and Kusanov. Ruben Dias. Reinders turning the other way. First Champions League game for Reinders in a City shirt. Fantastic midfielder from Milan. The last few seasons really had goals to his game at 15 last year. Salvino towards O'Reilly. Given away, but City no and go. Final quarter of an hour. Manage the game in possession. For Gianluigi Donnarumma. He's very quickly solidifying himself as the number one. Was a fascinating move to bring him in at the end of the window, having already signed a goalkeeper at significant expense, James Trafford from Burnley. wonder if maybe there would be a split of games where Trafford played cup matches and Donnarumma played in the league, but it looks as though this is Donnarumma's job.
Yeah, you would imagine that Trafford will get some cup games here, but when you have an opportunity to bring in last year's Champions League winning goalkeeper, guy that's played about 400 games professionally already at his age, he's only 26 years old. I think you have to bring him in.
For Bernardo Silva, club's all-time leader in Champions League appearances. Savinho. Poking beyond Spinazzola, getting the cross away. Will come out for Nico Gonzalez. Turns back and plays with Diaz and Gvardiol. And Savinho. Going over, referee. Just going to...
Certainly not the only player that we're about to see entering the fray. Maybe not quite yet, though. They'll defend this first, I think. Araujo back up on his feet. Again, the man with the task of trying to keep hold of Dan Burn. Guimaraes losing out, Araujo getting his head to it. Back with Livramento. Newcastle could get a goal here, it would suddenly be game on, that's for sure. The atmosphere would go through the roof again. Joe Willock. Comfortable enough for Joan Garcia.
Yeah, although they have conceded a few goals this season, Barcelona, they've really dug in tonight. Yeah, they've conceded those first half chances, but apart from that, it's been really resilient from Barca as a team.
He's taken quite a bit of responsibility as well in terms of possession of the ball, hasn't he, De Jong? Throughout the match, things moving for his team. This is Araujo and Jules Koundé, Pedri. Beautifully done. Pedri. Looking to run the show from the middle of the park. Rashford with a little flick trying to find Fermin Lopez. Here's Rashford. Guimaraes. Now to Anthony Gordon. Livramento venturing forward and Koundé able to challenge. No foul. It's with Rafinha. Pedri. That's Newcastle's problem, isn't it, really, Alan, as much as anything, just getting the ball back every time they lose it. Considerable amount of valuable time in what remains of the match is disappearing.
Yeah.
And here come Barcelona once more. It's into Ferran Torres, who tumbles under pressure, and the referee says it was no foul.
Got closed down quickly.
Koundé continues to have an excellent match at right back.
Yeah, he has.
Bit of a clash maybe off the ball between Rashford and Malik Chow. You can see what Marcus Rashford thinks has happened there. Will be worth another look. Just watch there on the edge of the centre circle, near side. just gets caught in the face by the Newcastle defender. Gerard Martin leaving the field. Eric Garcia on for him, and Marcus Rashford leaving the field now. This is the first of his 2 goals. Both of them were of the highest quality.
They certainly were. This is a thunderbolt. No keeper in the world. He's going to get near, never mind about stop. A night to remember for him.
What a night for Marcus Rashford. Gerard Martin, the other player, going off. Dani Olmo and Eric Garcia, the 2 players coming on. Barcelona just looking to see it out here and make a winning start to their latest Champions League campaign. 30th campaign in the Champions League proper. Competition record they share with Real Madrid. 23rd season in a row in the Champions League. Yellow card for their Dutch midfielder.
Well, I imagine they'd still be smarting about that semi-final against Inter Milan when it seemed that they were going to win. It was such a topsy-turvy match. What time?
He must be feeling on top of the world as he sits down there in the dugout. Marcus Rashford, because there's no doubt that, you know, he's settled in well there by all accounts, but he'll have been desperate to get off the mark. And he's done so in some style on the biggest stage going in club football in the European game, the Champions League. From Garcia, collected by Murphy, away from Pedri. This is good from Jacob Murphy, but he can't get past Olmo, and it's with Dani Olmo now. Rafinha sending it forward. Towards Fermin Lopez, who was looking for Torres. Here's Murphy turning into trouble in the shape of Barcelona's number 8, Pedri. He's got it once more. Hansi Flick just quite animated on the edge of his technical area.
Well, there's a precious little sign of a comeback from Newcastle. Fully in control, Barcelona at the moment.
De Jong, trapped by Livramento. Pedri. Christensen. Garcia just caught by Joe Willock as he sent the ball forward. It'll be a free kick. It's looking like a winning start to the latest Champions League campaign for Hansi Flick's side. Beaten their previous 7 league phase matches in the Champions League before tonight, lost in the league stage since the opening match of last season. They lost 2-1 in the Principality of Monaco. Back with Rafinha, keeps it away from Guimaraes. Pedri. Koundé. Times have we seen this over the years, Alan? Barcelona just keeping the passes short and simple and leaving the opposition chasing shadows for the large part. Opportunity here to put more pressure on. 5 more minutes plus added time. 2 goals from Marcus Rashford in the second half. To Murphy. Play from him, a short ball from Willock.
going to be his night, is it? I don't think.
How do you feel they've played first game back in the Champions League, having missed out last season?
Well, you've got to take your chances, haven't you, at this level? And they didn't. They haven't been able to create any more second half.
Fermin Lopez forward into Ferran Torres. Force kindly for Bruno Guimaraes. You just can't keep hold of it, Newcastle now. Interception made by Tonali. This is Livramento.
You get to this stage in the game and you know the match has been won and your mind starts turning towards the next match, the weekend.
It's good play, and Livramento finds Anthony Gordon. Dan Burns going up front with Nick Voltemade. They've certainly got plenty of height up there through the middle. This is Willock. They seemed a little ponderous as to what to do with the ball there. Bit of a limp from Anthony Gordon on the far side as Barcelona look to counter now with Fermin Lopez. Players both left and right. Newcastle backpedaling rapidly here. Rafinha, twinkle-toed. A shot from Lopez behind for a goal kick. Willock seemed maybe caught in two minds there at the other end of the pitch moments before.
Just haven't been able to get any good service into Voltemade on the ball here.
Yeah, he's had nothing to work with since coming off the bench. European debut for Jean Garcia, Barcelona's new goalkeeper from Espanyol during the summer. Dealt with everything that's come his way with great authority and confidence. Good flick off the head of Torres. Guimaraes. Hurried there under pressure. It's going to be a frustrating opening night for the good folk of Tyneside. We're heading for an excellent result, it would seem, for the Giants from Catalonia.
They've got some tough games, haven't they, in this series of 8. Benfica, Bilbao, Leverkusen, PSG. Not easy for Newcastle, but the top tier of football you wouldn't expect it to be.
Yeah, absolutely. That Leverkusen game on the road, PSG on the road as well. That's their final group game. They've got to go to Marseille and to Union Saint-Gilloise. Benfica, Athletic Club and PSV heading to St James's Park as Jacob Murphy sends it across and they're on the board. And it might just be an interesting finish to the match after all. A glimmer of black and white hope from Anthony Gordon in the last minute of the 90.
It's come from nowhere, really. You couldn't see it happening. It was almost as if they were just playing the way to the final whistle. They wanted the final whistle to come. Now that's changed things big time. How much added time are we going to get?
Well, we're not going to have long to find out because that board will go up any second now.
It's been a tough night for Anthony Gordon, but that's his biggest touch by far of the night to give his team half a chance.
And they have got half a chance because we will have a minimum of 7 additional minutes at St James's Park. We are far from done. And the crowd have suddenly come to life and Tonali just got a little bit excited there in front of the referee and conceded a free kick. Well, we might have a grandstand finish after all. It's nail-biting stuff all of a sudden.
Well, I think the crowd almost had given up on it.
Well, full credit to Newcastle for keeping going and for Anthony Gordon for finding the back of the net. And they are still alive and kicking in this opening Champions League match. Hansi Flick's side not home and hosed after all. Garcia, the former Manchester City. Get a free kick as well after that 50-50 challenge.
We won't be rushing the restart from these situations now, Barcelona.
There's going to be potentially a late change. Marc Casado is on the touchline waiting. Ferran Torres chases and Sven Botman sends him over the touchline. Renewed hope for Newcastle United here. Are we in for a Champions League cliffhanger? Casado just gets final instructions. Barcelona break the play up a little bit by making this change. Fermin Lopez is the player making way. And the 22-year-old Marc Casado, defensive midfield player, coming on for him.
Somebody's got a yellow card, yeah. With the Newcastle coaching staff.
Rafinha's done well to keep it in. Lovely bit of skill from Pedri. Rafinha back into Casado. It's his first touch. De Jong. Casado, Jules Koundé. Barcelona just looking to take the sting out of this one. Newcastle looking for the opportunity to come roaring forward. Here's their goal scorer, Anthony Gordon. Not the pass that was required. Won back well by Livramento. Good challenge from Jules Koundé, but Livramento was there. This is Tonali. It's a throw for Barcelona. And Newcastle's frustration just goes up another notch or two as Krab kicks in. And is felt by various players on the pitch. None more so at the moment than Anthony Gordon, perhaps.
Just been a chance to get the ball into Barcelona's box. They're being denied that.
Gets the free kick. Right to the last at St James's here for this one as Barcelona continue to maintain control of the ball here. In the 5th minute of added time as they look to take the sting out of Newcastle's late revival. It's with Frenkie de Jong. Newcastle with the player down. Rafinha in full flight. Ferran Torres in the box. Back to Dani Olmo. Great save by Nick Pope.
It was. Dani Olmo really did catch that sweetly. Had to get down quickly, Pope.
Really good save by the Newcastle goalkeeper. Rafinha and Pedri combining. Koundé now. Newcastle struggling to just build up that head of steam to finish the game. Unable to carry the momentum from that 90th minute goal into additional time as the clock ticks away. Koundé. Barcelona almost there. This is Ferran Torres and a deflection carrying it behind.
Yeah, and I'll take that all day long. Newcastle just have not been able to have a chance to get the ball into the box, to load the box, get into Voltemada. Might take them a minute to take this corner.
Well, it will if they've got anything to do with it. They're going to take their time here. They're certainly not in any rush. This is Rafinha. He'll take the return and straight forward stop for Nick Pope. This could be Newcastle's last chance perhaps to get the ball forward here. That'll be a yellow card, certainly for Mark Casado for the cynical foul. Nothing subtle about that one. They will have a chance to send the ball forward here. We've almost had a minimum additional 7 minutes tally, which no doubt will go up a little bit more. Tussle between Araujo and Sven Botman. The clearance from Koundé. Not finding a teammate this time. That was excellent. And then on the far side there from Pedri. But it's Newcastle who'll get the ball. And from Newcastle's point of view, this throw-in needs to be good.
Needs to be long.
And they need to find an opportunity from it. If they're to snatch a late dramatic draw, you sense it might have to happen now. Burns stretches. The shot comes in and it's straight at Garcia from Sandro Tonali. And that might just be it for Newcastle United tonight.
Controlled the shot well. Needed a little deflection to make things difficult for the keeper, but yeah, I think that's it.
There goes the final whistle. It's Barcelona's night on Tyneside. It is Marcus Rashford's night. 2 goals of the highest quality. His first 2 in a Barcelona shirt have won the day. No wonder he's smiling. The second half looked to have Barcelona coasting towards victory.